Welcome to Bums on a Boat. My name is Joel. I am Joel from the future, and what you're about to see is boat life trying to break me. You're gonna break, you're gonna crack, you're gonna crumble. Snap out of it, snap out of it. I don't know what is going on. You're also going to witness a painful internal struggle within a guy who still doesn't know that he's enough as he is. Now, I'm here from the future to change the energy of this video and to add some substance. Before we get into it, I recently listened to the On Purpose podcast by Jay Shetty. He was interviewing Michael B. Jordan. And one thing that really stuck out to me is he was saying, and Michael B. Jordan, if you don't know, he's just a very successful actor, director, he's in the movie industry and he's killing it. But his advice was, when you feel like giving up, when you're right there at the end, you have no more ideas, it's not working out, you just really feel strongly like it's over, it's just not gonna work, give up. He says, just hold on and endure. He says that is usually the time right before you make a big breakthrough. You are just about to make a breakthrough, and so many people, they quit right there. And, yes. Hey, you bums. Well, good morning, everybody. We are up in a tree. For some reason, on the way to the boat today to tear into an unknown piece of equipment, a Fluxgate compass, wiring, to go back into an autopilot that I am learning about as I work on, I decided to climb a tree to get back to my roots. There's really no point to it other than to do it. You're just up in the tree and you're... What an exciting turn of events since I last saw you up in the tree. Well, the GoPro battery just crapped out. The battery will say 100% and then it'll just be nothing. That's fine, but then I come out to the dinghy and the old outboard won't start. I went to turn the throttle and I felt it snap. Now what you didn't get to see was I lost my cool a little bit and I forced it. It broke down here where it connects to these cables. You can see here. So I've already begun taking it apart. I came out to work on the autopilot, but I'd like to have a working outboard. All right, it's a test right out of the gate, and it's a little discouraging, but I paddled out here. Luckily I had paddles. All right, so I've successfully taken the throttle apart, and the problem was this little plastic piece, you can see it broke off. And the plastic piece, basically when you turn the throttle, it pulls one of these cables. It pulls this cable here when you give it throttle. This cable in the back here was frozen. I just put a lot of PB Blaster on it and now it moves. Unfortunately, I didn't put PB Blaster on it and take it easy. I don't know, lately some of the days have just started out with a nice test for me and just say, here you go, Joel, here's a test. How are you gonna handle it? You're gonna break, you're gonna crack, you're gonna crumble, you're gonna give up yet? You're gonna throw in the towel? It's almost like I'm being tested over and over again and I'm on the fence. Is this worth it? What am I doing? Can I handle this? All these questions. Being grateful, that's what I tell myself. I am grateful. Sometimes I don't know if I am, but I know that's the way to be. I got a boat, Shock was floating, the dinghy's floating, keep telling myself that. Breathe, I have breath, I have legs, all these things I'm telling myself. Just relax. The autopilot, who knows what's gonna happen with it, but we gotta fix the outboard. This is the piece here. This was connected into here. The cables run into here and it spins, but that just broke, a little piece of plastic, so. I think it's gonna be okay. Okay, I've cleaned the surfaces, the mating surfaces with denatured alcohol, and I have this two-part epoxy here. There's A and B. I've had this urge to just, and don't give up, because I've had the urge to just throw, like, oh, I came here to work on the autopilot, and now, and I just bought this outboard. It wasn't new, but there's the mind that's just trying to get me in a funk, trying to get me ungrateful, trying to get me angry, and trying to get me to throw in the towel. I can feel it. It's strong right now. Oh yeah, I know that pattern. There it goes. Nope, but we're not gonna play into that. Snap out of it. Snap out of it. This epoxy has been on the boat for years, and it was already open, so this stuff is not it's not good. It needs to be thrown away, but I'm still trying to use it. We're just gonna let that epoxy harden. So honestly, I just traced the wire from the brain. I had to just trace it. I actually didn't know where the FluxGate compass was. In my tizzy, I forgot to even talk about why I suspect the FluxGate compass. It's embarrassing, but the reason is because I tested the autopilot out on anchor, and it's confusing me because as the boat swings, all of a sudden the autopilot just starts going hard and it won't stop, and I have to stop it, and I'm confused, and I don't know yet that I've actually already fixed the autopilot. So the first thing is, hey, is there anything magnetic close by that's throwing it off? Well, I haven't really installed anything new since I bought the boat in this area that would be magnetic. No. It's really difficult to go about boat life this way, where you basically are learning as you go. It won't be so painful for you if you're not gonna just share the whole process with everybody. We've got this set to ohms, and what we're gonna do is just test the FluxGate compass wires. I've disconnected them from the brain. I have the manual, and it tells us when I connect red and green here, we should get about 4 ohms. And this will let us know if it's the FluxGate compass. It's supposed to be 4, and it was just close to 4. I don't know what is going on. Slowly climbing. It should just bounce right to it, so this isn't looking very good. So we got red to yellow. This should be 4 ohms. And we got 21 point. Oh, poor guy. Those numbers were honestly confusing me, and I thought, I was like, I have it in the right settings, but I'm getting 16, 20. Well, this, finally, I decided to do this test here where it's just continuity, and I touched the leads together and they didn't beep. But when I took the red lead off, hear the beep. So yeah, that wasn't happening when this red lead here was just in there, but this somehow became disconnected. So I took this off and I got the continuity, and then I went and did the test, and so if any of those readings are off, and you're not getting the correct resistance according to the manual, yes, I read manuals now, it's a pretty good way to go about it. I actually will go into a manual before I look at a YouTube video now. And back in the day, I'd just be like, YouTube, how we doing? Well, I'm a little beat up, aren't I? I'm a little tired. Battling. It's the battle of attitudes, the battle of my thoughts, the battle of my mind to stay positive, to be grateful, to relax. We're getting tested every step of the way today, boys and girls. Okay, we're doing the red green test. Should be 4. I just did this. Are you kidding me? But it could be this multimeter connection, you know? I don't know if this is really working very well. We are gonna keep going, aren't we? So I tried to go down and show you the test, and then I wasn't getting it. So I'm like, the multimeter is suspect. So I took both the leads off, stripped the wires back, and I did my continuity test just to make sure, because it just seemed off. And so every time, there's no doubt that I don't have the connection. I put a new battery in here. I'm like, something's up. So I'm gonna go down just to show you and hopefully it actually works. On the plus side, maybe we'll have an outboard or some way of getting in without paddling, possibly. But you know, if we have to paddle, at least we have a paddle, and at least I have arms that are strong enough to paddle me in, right? You know, guys, it's not natural. This is not natural. I know being grateful is the way to go, and thinking about what I have is the way to go. I know it, it makes sense, and I'm working for it, but it's not natural. I know, it's like, oh my God, but truthfully, I am really working hard for this. Like, what do I have? I have arms, I have a paddle, I'm alive, I have breath, okay, I don't have an outboard, it broke on me, whatever, the battery died, fine, the multimeter, okay, I have no autopilot. Alright, so here's my Raymarine cheat sheet, and here's the test. So it wasn't, you know, you just Google it, and it's, there you go. So red to green, 4 ohms. Alright, we're back on Come on, there we go, look at that. 5.4, that's within 2, that's what we're looking for. Oh, yes, it's so sweet. Red to yellow should be 4 ohms. Oh, 5.4, that's within 2. You guys are gonna laugh at me. All right, so I think we have some good news. The good news is we're gonna have to pull these mooring lines. Ding! I've just discovered the problem with my autopilot test. You can't test it on Anchor. What? On the plus side, I have now gone through every single component of the autopilot and I've tested it and confirmed that it works, and I also have a much better understanding of the autopilot. I feel like an absolute, you know, I'm not gonna say it because I'm not. Well, maybe I am sometimes. No, I do idiotic things maybe, but I'm not an idiot. I keep telling myself that. The day just gets better and better. So I did the epoxy. It's hot here. The epoxy, I broke it. It didn't work. It broke. It didn't set. And I was trying, and it was so hard to get these cables on. And I was really trying to get the cables on, and then it just popped off. So. Where there's a Will, there's a Jill. That's what I always say. Doesn't make any sense if you don't know Jill, but that's what Jill always used to say. It ain't pretty, but we're not having a paddle in right now. So we're gonna get her on in here, and then I'm gonna mix the epoxy there, and I'm gonna really stick it in tight and try to clamp it down and leave it overnight, and the temperature's a little bit better overnight, and then we're gonna show up in the morning and it's gonna work perfectly. Probably not, but. Oh, all right. Don't worry, I made sure to take the key. Don't want anybody to steal the dinghy. So I got the key in the backpack just in case, you know, someone was like, ooh, look at that baby. It's kind of a trip, right? Going from the old dinghy with the Nissan that the throttle broke, old shock mate all torn apart in the sweaty locker, and then I come here, dinghy that was worth more than, I think they paid more for this than I paid for my sailboat. This whole setup here, it's really cool, extreme. Whoa. Boom! All right, we just zip tied all the wires, made sure they're out of the way, not gonna get caught in the steering. Cleaned it up, oiled the chain, made sure the steering was solid and ready to go. Got the bolts, checked everything, because we're gonna put this away. I don't know what happened, but I woke up today and I was just like, goal is to get autopilot, make sure we have an autopilot. So I gotta pull those mooring lines and move the boat and test it underway. I think that makes sense to me. I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions until I try that. All right, well, I wanted to end with a kicker, and it was actually holding for a little bit, but then I came out to do some adjustments and it broke. So the outboard's not quite where we want it. I also dropped a little piece in the ocean. But what was cool is I just said, oh, there she goes. What a wild ride that was, huh? Everything was just like, Anyways, haven't given up on the outboard. I went and bought some new epoxy here. You know, the stuff I used was old. It's been on the boat for years. Ding, ding, ding. You got it. I also looked for the part that I need, and it's
gonna be $20. However, it's gonna cost $40 to ship it here, and they're not gonna be able to ship it for like another 7 days because we're kind of in the holiday season. And once they do ship it, it'll take 7 to 10 more days. So that's like 25 days out, and I'm gonna spend twice the price of what I need just to ship it here. And that is pretty typical for, you know, island cruising. That's just what it's the cost of cruising. Felt like everything was just saying, hey, just quit, man. This isn't working out for you. You know, it's a sign. It felt like a sign or something, but you know, I fought through it, and the next morning I woke up and I was like, I don't know, there was a fire in me, and I felt proud that I made it through the day and felt re-inspired, and it was just like, bah! I'm gonna leave you on Alright, you see I used a zip tie because most of the plastic was gone, and then I had a little piece of plastic on this part still, so I was hoping the zip tie would connect to the plastic, and the zip tie would help to connect it to this metal piece.
Maybe I am enough. It will be short-lived as soon as the next obstacle presents itself. Why? Because all of my worth is depending on future results, and at this moment, I feel like I might actually got this. But as soon as it seems like maybe I don't, that hope turns into hopelessness and worthlessness. But the redeeming quality is persistence and commitment. Let's go, Joel, you got this. You know, they say a fool who persists in his folly will become wise. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned. Patrons, thank you for your support and encouragement, but most of all, thank you for believing. I'm gonna do a little something new because, hey, it's an exciting time, and for the veterans, you guys know who you are. You're the rock. Let's go, baby. But we had a couple new patrons. I want to just say thank you. We got Lake Pickett Home Brewing joined recently. Mama Lynn, hello. Ron M. and Sailing the Great Blue, SGB. We got some new patrons. Let's go. Thanks for joining the crew. Let's go, baby. I'll see you next week, ya bums.
These are the tales of Boab.
Bones on a boat. B-O-A-B, baby, where B-O-A-B, baby, where B-O-A-B.